So I don't know. I mean, Wiggy suggested earlier that that's what you have Alex Kora here for, and he'll fix everything, and everybody will be happy when April arrives. But I don't know. It seems like a lingering. Like Mego, you brought up. Mego's filling in for Courtney today, by the way. You brought up the fact that he hasn't. When asked about whether he would want to be traded, I'm paraphrasing here. He would have to think about it. So I mean, he's clearly trying to flex some leverage or something, I guess.
For what? Like what? It's because baseball is the one sport that, by him not playing the field, they're not like. I guess technically they are taking something away from him, but he still can be productive for you as a player. It's not like where they're taking away playing time from you in any other sport, where if you're a backup goaltender and we're going with this guy or basketball.
The most beloved Red Sox player of the last 20 years was a DH.
Yeah.
So it seemed to work out.
Greg, can we just simply say that it's about how he said it? If he had this exact feeling and said, you know, I signed here as a third baseman. I've taken a lot of pride in my defense. Last year, I went down from 19 to 12 errors at third base. I hope to continue improving and to play that position. Is very different than the manner in which he reacted to the question. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if he had just said, I want to get better, I need to get better, we all have to get better, last year wasn't good enough, I think I can help the team best at third base, but if that's not the case, I just want us to win. Wouldn't that be a much better way to handle this?
Yeah, well, he called him out. I mean, he and I'm paraphrasing again, but basically said I should not have taken them at their word.
Right.
Which is, you know, calling them out. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no, like I said before, like my position is third base. I don't know how they want to go about it or what they want to do, but I know that that's the position I get ready to play every day. And it's just, you know, it's just my position.
How would you react if they asked you to DH? How would you feel about that?
No.
It's just crazy to me because it's not like it's a situation at second base where you have somebody like Christian Campbell coming up and it's a kid and they're saying, hey, Devers, we want you to move to this different place because we want to bring this kid up.
Right.
Where I could understand him getting defensive about it, ironically defensive because he's not good in the field. But this is somebody who they have been talking about bringing in for months at this point. And are bringing in, and he's so much more accomplished at the position than Devers ever has been.
Right.
And they're just moving him over to DH, which, as you said, Greg, has a great legacy of DH heroes with the Red Sox. Yeah. Like, it is not a huge insult. He's making it into something much more complicated than it has to be.
And that's where I'm like, kind of like that's where it's a head scratcher to me. Like, it's not a big insult, but why is he taking it as like you're still going to be viewed as the face of the franchise? Like, even though you have Bregman, he's only here.
I wonder if he feels that way.
But Bregman's only here for 3 years. He signs a 3-year deal. You signed a, 12-year deal. So you're still the face of the franchise. I could see if it was Juan Soto. Signs a 10-year, whatever he signed, a 10 or 11-year deal, $700 million, and played the same position. And now, like, hey, we need you to move. Now you no longer are the face of the franchise because this new shiny object that they spent a ton of money on is the face. But I guarantee if you still ask anybody in the Red Sox organization who is the face of the franchise, they're going to tell you it's Rafael Devers.
Okay, but there's some onus on the player to make themselves the face of the franchise as well. You don't just automatically get that because you sign a big deal. And I got
to tell you, though, Greg, like the 508 texter has a great point about how we view A-Rod and Jeter. I just said A-Rod is on my douche Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
And Jeter was not as good of a defensive shortstop as Alex Rodriguez, but Jeter refused to move off short. A-Rod played third, went out of position, and didn't complain about it. Nobody ripped Jeter. Right. Nobody said Jeter was wrong.
And give A-Rod credit for that because at that point in time, A-Rod was the bigger superstar in the sense of when he was the bigger superstar, and he was like, hey, listen, I'm going to put my ego to the side to play third base for Jeter because this is Jeter's team.
But it's not even Rafael Devers, when it comes to defensive play only,
right,
is not Derek Jeter.
Right, exactly.
I mean, give me a break.
I could see if he was good and you go, okay, he's solid and Bregman's better, and I could get where I'm going. Well, he doesn't want to move, but he's still good. What did he lead the league? Oh, he's second in the league last year in errors. He's not very good.
He's -9 in defensive runs saved above average. To put that in comparison, Bregman last year was 6. It's a difference of 15 runs.
Greg, you made a great point.
Thank you.
That really should be examined in the sense of he's willing to die on this hill.
Well, maybe he's just grasping for leverage.
What, though? For what? But there's no leverage in baseball. He's got his contract. He's got his money. He doesn't need any leverage. It's not like you're gonna trade him. Why is he willing to die on this hill? And then that goes to, where is his douchery level?
Right. This is Eddie. Hello, Eddie.
Hey, guys. Well, listen, Devers has been a stiff on the field for as long as he's been playing. If he wants to play third base and be the everyday third baseman, how about get better? How about learn how to play the position a little bit better? And by the way, how many Gold Gloves has this kid won? And how many Gold Gloves do we think he'll win in his lifetime? I rest my case.
Yeah, that's just it's weird. It's weird that he's willing to die on this hill for what? What just to be like, all right, I play third base?
I wonder do you think that he expected Kora to be, because Kora up until yesterday, and he hasn't changed his tune, but when they brought Bregman in, and even in the introductory press conference, Kora and Kennedy were saying Bregman's a guy who can play second. Yeah. He can even play short. He can play so many places. And then when Devers took it to I played third base, that's what you just heard, then Kora says that was an agreement that was made with Chaim Bloom, and he's in St. Louis now.
Well, maybe they made an agreement with Bregman that he can play third base.
There's a different leader here. So, Chaim is in St. Louis right now.
But if Kora,
I would also add, though, would Kora say that, let's say Breslow gets fired this year and the new GM doesn't like him, should the new GM not honor the contract that Kora signed with Breslow? That's kind of a slippery slope, no?
Right. Yeah. And Kora should just be like, when he did do it, which now, as fans, as you sit there, he basically said, we're going to do what's best for the team. So we all have eyes, and we all can see that if Bregman is outperforming Devers at third base, then Kora, why isn't he playing third base? Isn't third base? Can you move Devers to second? But if you don't feel comfortable in there, why would you not make your team better defensively? Why would you? Isn't third base a key position?
And either way, if you're moving someone over to second, then you're not giving Christian Campbell the opportunity to come up and develop quickly as well.
And I think that's a part of it. I think they realize they must have confidence that he is going to be, opening day is going to be your second baseman.
And I see people in the Twitch chat saying, why are we talking about this now? It's going to get sorted out. Yeah. Well, they had months that they were going after Bregman. There were leaked reports out saying that he was the priority after they pivoted out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes. So it hasn't been sorted out to this point, and I don't know how you don't react to those comments from Devers yesterday and feel a little alarmed about the situation.
Well, no. Do you guys think this was the first they heard of it? Do you think Kora and or Sam Kennedy or Breslow had conversations with Devers? In other words, were they caught off guard by what Devers did yesterday, or is this something that's just they've tried to put out the fire but been unable to behind the scenes?
They definitely had conversations with him. They definitely.
You think so?
Yes, because if we were having conversations about this, and Mego's right, weeks ago. If they bring in Bregman,
he seemed like a guy to you yesterday that has had an ongoing conversation about whether he'd be willing to move to DH. He didn't seem like that at all.
Not willing. They had a conversation. He's like, no, I'm not going, even though we had a conversation. But there's no way we were talking about this weeks ago that maybe Devers goes to second. Does Devers DH? Does Bregman go to – we're having this conversation. How are we having it and we're just, Joe Schmoes or Mrs. Joe Schmo on the radio, and
Josephine,
sorry,
Schmo.
and they're not having it with Devers. Like, that would be asinine.
It's unfortunate that you're week one and you're starting it off that way.